Good Tuesday morning. Mets blow out the Giants last night in San Francisco. Somehow the Yankees lose to the Baltimore Orioles again and have a little bit of a losing streak. We got Game 4 between the Rangers and the Hurricanes tonight at the Garden. Another blowout NBA postseason game again last night. It feels like every single one is a 20-point or more deficit. And we've got a superstar in the studio today, someone who was getting photographed on the red carpet all last night at the Top Gun premiere. Boomer Esiason. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, G. A little tired this morning. Didn't get back till about 11 o'clock last night.
Oh, jeez.
And it was, it was well worth it. I have to say that when I was coming out of the movie theater last night after seeing Top Gun Maverick with my son Gunnar, who is an aficionado when it comes to the movie Top Gun, the original movie, because he's watched it about 1,000 times and loves it, his favorite movie of all time, I was really wondering how he was going to like it. I wasn't worried about how I was going to like it. I was just worried about how he was going to like it.
That's funny.
I felt like he was 10 years old all over again.
Yeah.
And we got in there, and I have to say that it blew away everything that I could have ever thought about this movie.
Wow.
It's a sequel, and it's not the original, I'll say that, but it is an ode to the original.
Okay.
And it pays homage to the original, and there's a lot of similarities to this movie as to the initial Top Gun back in the late 80s. But I have to say, the flight scenes are incredible. And we were up at the Magic Johnson Theater up in right around 125th, 124th Street up there in Harlem, and the sound system in there, the Dolby sound system, was ridiculous. You could feel the jet engines. You just felt it. You felt the whole movie. And like I said, it paid homage to the original. And, you always wonder about a sequel. Can it live up to what the original was?
A lot of them don't.
And this came so many years later. And I have to say, Tom Cruise was great in this movie. He looks unbelievable.
Does he?
Jennifer Connelly was awesome in this movie. Val Kilmer was in the movie. Very, very small part in the movie. But they basically brought him in, and he had to be a part of it.
Well, this wasn't this is like the L.A. premiere.
This is the L.A. premiere, yeah.
Yeah, it's Miles Teller.
Yeah, Miles Teller was Goose's son in the movie.
Okay.
And he was great too. I don't know. The flight scenes were ridiculous. It's a cheese whiz movie to a certain extent because there's a love story. There's all this other stuff that's in and around it.
You have to have a love story.
Right. And then there's the conundrum that Maverick finds himself in like 5 or 6 different times. I don't want to break it all down for everybody, but I will say it is an absolute 100% must see. It is a must see.
You're going must see.
You have to see it, and you can't wait. You got to see it in the movie theater. It was great to be back in a movie theater first and foremost.
Yeah, I haven't seen a movie in a movie theater in a very long time.
You got to see it on the big screen. I mean, it brings goose pimples to the back of your neck.
Wow, what a review!
Yeah, I'm not
thumbs up.
All right, cinematography, just the way that there's a scene where they're going to go complete a mission or whatever, and there's Tomahawk missiles coming off of a I guess a battleship or whatever kind of ship shoots these things off, and they're both flying together with Tomahawk missiles and airplanes, and it was the most amazing cinema that I have seen. I was like, this is unbelievable.
Wow.
So the excitement, the roar, the noise, the sounds, the music. Everything was great.
I don't think you could give a better review than you just gave. Did you see any other famous people there last night?
Well, Jennifer Connelly was there.
Oh, she was there.
I believe she was there.
Right.
We were, I just got in. We did the red carpet thing. We got the popcorn. We just went to our seats.
Okay.
We didn't want to, hobnob and get.
You didn't want to hobnob. Isn't that part of the fun?
No, but
when you go to a movie premiere, it's hobnob.
But there was an after party that they wanted us. I said, "Hey guys, I got to go to work tomorrow morning."
Yeah.
But I will say that. And then seeing my own son's reaction.
Oh, yeah. What did he think? So, you said you were more concerned about his reaction.
Right. So I told him, I said, we'll call you around 9 o'clock this morning, let you sleep in on it, let you think about it a little bit more. But he was jacked.
Okay.
He goes, he's got to go see it with his cousin Randy because that's something that they have in common. that they grew up loving together.
Couldn't squeeze Randy in there last night?
No.
No?
Randy had a Wasp game last night.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, so it was, I don't know. I would recommend it to everybody. Take your families, take all your friends. It is just an absolutely great, just action-packed, and it's the flight scenes, like I said, are really believable. I don't know what was computer generated and what's not computer generated. I guess you would know if you were in that line of work, but it all seemed so real.
Yeah.
And the noise and the feeling of the jet engines and just watching the pilots take the G's and all that stuff that goes on. It's just really, I thought it was really well done. And
Well, hell, you make me want to see it.
Yeah, and I thought Tom Cruise was great. I thought he was absolutely caught the Maverick Pete Mitchell character.
I wish I could dislike him in movies because he's such a weird guy away from me, but he's so great in these movies, the Mission Impossible movies and this stuff. I mean, he's just so great in these movies.
So I will say this, that Jennifer Connelly plays Penny Benjamin. Now, Penny Benjamin, as many people remember, she was the admiral's daughter that he got in trouble with.
That's right, yeah.
And, of course, Penny Benjamin's back in the movie.
That's right, she's back.
Right, so, this is it's just, I don't know, I came out of it very happy, you know what I mean?
Good. That's what it's all about.
Right.
You
I was
walk
like,
out of
damn,
a
I was
movie
glad
happy.
I was there, glad I saw it, and I would recommend it to anybody, especially in a movie theater. You got to see it in a movie theater.
That's the experience that you want. Now, did you go home and catch the end of this Met game and this beatdown of the Giants when you got back at 11:30?
So I walked in, and Pete Alonso had just hit a home run.
Yep.
I was following it on my phone, too.
Perfect.
So.
Yep.
And Peterson was great, and this is an interesting situation, like if you contrast the Mets and the Yankees right now. So the Mets are doing this with all these injuries, with all these issues, and they're still winning, and they're doing it pretty impressively, especially, with the lineup and all that other stuff. On the other hand, you have the Yankees, who have now had some significant injuries that they've had to deal with, Chad Green being one of them. But they also now have this Josh Donaldson kind of like distraction. And, they've lost 3 in a row. And you just never know, and every team's going to go through a losing streak somewhere along the line. And it's too bad that they lost to the Orioles. Now they got to take take the next 2. And Garrett Cole wasn't great last night, although he did go 8 innings. But you just wonder, with the White Sox players reaching out to the Yankee players and discussing the Josh Donaldson stuff between those 2 rosters. I don't even – and Aaron Judge came out and said, well, Josh Donaldson owned it. I don't think it was right. I don't think what he did was right. I think he tried to nuance things. Then, of course, finally, Aaron Boone showed some stones and said, I don't think he should have been suspended. I don't agree with the suspension.
Yeah.
He's got to, show some guts. And I guess in this case he did. But at the end of the day, you just hope that this doesn't tear this – I don't think it will tear it apart, but you just hope that it doesn't create what – we all would hate to have happen to our own teams, and as a schism between players.
I mean, do you really think that there's a lot of Yankee players that were just appalled by what Josh Donaldson did? I mean, I can't think that this is going to create some sort of fracture in the clubhouse. I couldn't imagine. Now, if you want to tell me that Josh Donaldson is this big pain in the ass and he's been rubbing the Yankees the wrong way throughout the entire season, and then an incident happens like this, and they're like, man, this guy's just... This is not the guy we want around.
Right, well, we haven't heard that
and we haven't heard that. If anything, we've heard the opposite about how he's provided an element to this team as far as like an edge and a grittiness and a different type of personality to this group that, the Yankees hadn't had in the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, listening to what Aaron Judge said, hopefully they're able to put it in the past and don't worry about it. And, Donaldson, is obviously appealing the 1-game suspension and monetary fine. He also, has come down with COVID as well. I don't know if that's
Fugazi COVID list.
No, there's no way that's a Fugazi COVID list. No way.
No,
this is the real deal. And really, I also think that if the Yankee players allow the White Sox players in their locker room to determine the way that they're going to supposedly react to something that I don't
Then you lose respect for them?
I don't lose respect for them. I was just like, that's weak.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your teammate, man. Your teammate's out there trying to win games with you guys and for you guys, and maybe he's bringing the edge to the corporate Yankees.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's what this is, and maybe they don't like it. I don't know. I'm not in a locker room. I don't know what kind of personality Josh Donaldson is. I don't want to make a rash judgment on him because, Liam Hendricks doesn't get along with him. Maybe a lot of other people don't get along with Liam Hendricks. Who knows?
Right. I mean, Josh Donaldson is just one of those guys, a polarizing figure. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that absolutely love him and think that his personality, or take him in a certain way and say, hey, that's just his personality and I like it and you can't take him too seriously. And there's other people that hate his guts.
I was thinking about this comment by Tim Anderson, I'm going to be this, the next Jackie Robinson, the way he said it and everything else like that. I think, one, I would say, okay, Tim Anderson said it with reverence, that he, looked up to and wants to be like. I kind of understand that. But I also understand how, if you want to get under a guy's skin, or you think, and we both talked about this yesterday, like when we read that, we rolled our eyes.
Yeah.
We rolled our eyes like, come on, man.
We would have done the same thing if he called himself the next
Lou Gehrig or the next,
right.
A-Rod.
Or anything like that. I mean,
I think there's going to be the next great shortstop, A-Rod.
Yeah, so exactly.
And then if you called him A-Rod at second base, hey, A-Rod, how you doing? How is that? So the arbiter of all this, and I think the one person in all of this stuff that has basically ignited these crazy flames is Tony La Russa.
Sure, by saying the word racist. I mean, in Major League Baseball, too, for suspending Josh Donaldson. I mean,
Major League Baseball moved their all-star game from Atlanta to Denver, for God's sake.
I'm surprised. I thought they were going to actually suspend him for longer. I knew they would suspend him. I just absolutely knew they would, because there was, there's no way that they wanted to sit there and deal with whatever loud Twitter criticism there would have been if they didn't suspend him at all.
I wonder how many times somebody has said to somebody on the field, on the ice, on the court, I'm going to be with your mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is about as disrespectful and about as low ball as you can get.
Sure, I mean,
but we're not suspending people for that.
No.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
I mean,
actually.
If you just had like a wide open mic on an NFL field, I can't even imagine the stuff that's said.
Oh God, the stuff that's said, because the stuff that's said to the referees by the coaches, not just the players, it's the coaches. I mean, how about NBA? NBA, the chirping that goes on, on the ice in the NHL. I mean, it's all been a part of the game, and now. You also have people writing like, he said what he said was so terrible and so bad, and now everybody is sitting in judgment, like who has never, just because you cover the game from 150 feet away from the field doesn't mean that you know what the hell's going on the field.
Sure, no, absolutely. And didn't the NFL, because there were no fans in the building in that pandemic season, basically put that taunting rule in part because of the stuff that they heard?
You could hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it was so, over the top and so inappropriate to some.
It's amazing what people call each other.
Yeah, the competition committee changed the rules because they thought it was so ridiculous. So that's just to your point, that stuff like this, the worst possible words you could call somebody, tearing people down.
Right, yeah. I was yelling at my teammates because they're looking at their replays. So I'm like, get your heads out of your asses and let's go. That's exactly right. I mean, but that was tame. There was one time where I was screaming at Bruce Smith at the top of my lungs.
What were you saying to him?
Not nice things.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he was a pain in my neck.
Well, obviously. I mean,
my neck, my back, my legs, the whole thing.
Your neck.
Collinsworth tells a story. Or was it maybe Anthony Munoz tells the story. We were down on the goal line, and I was so mad at Bruce Smith. It was like a little cheap shot after I had thrown the ball or something that just agitated me.
Sure.
He always agitated me. I never felt like he was a dirty player, not like John Randall. So
okay.
He wasn't a dirty player. He was a clean player, and I do have an enormous amount of respect for the way that he played.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was legitimately impossible to handle unless you have Anthony Munoz. And then it's a 50-50, case at that point.
Yeah, a couple Hall of Famers.
Right, so we get down to the goal line, and I walked over behind Anthony because, of course, Anthony was in front of me.
Yeah.
So, I knew I could do that if I have Anthony in front of me. And I'm screaming at Bruce Smith, we're running right at you, this. I mean, I was screaming at him, and we ran right at him, and we scored a touchdown.
Oh, it's got to be satisfying.
It was, but the problem is that was the year that we were really good in '88.
Yeah.
I was going to see him the next 7 years or 8 years of my career. And, of course, I come to the Jets. I'm going to see him twice a year.
Sure.
I don't think he ever forgot that. That's the problem. Maybe that's why he took me out in that game in 95. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, so the point being is, Boom's dead. Yeah, that's right. They did. The amazing thing is that, these are the things that go on the field. Is essentially us getting back to the original point. There are a lot of things that are said between, look, you had Don Zimmer and Pedro Martinez fighting at home plate. I mean, last night, while I'm watching the Met game, I'm flipping back and forth, believe it or not, to the Blues and of course the Avalanche.
I can believe it, yeah.
Okay, I know you can believe it. And I know you don't know what happened in that series, but the Blues goalie got ran by Nazem Kadri. We talked about it yesterday. Really wasn't Kadri's fault. He actually got pushed into his own goalie, and I think the goalie got hurt by his own teammate. And if you look at it, Kadri's doing what I would want my player to do, to go after a live puck in front of the net. And Bennington, their goalie, is now out for the entire series. So the Blues have to play with a backup goalie. They're playing at home last night. And, everybody in St. Louis is ticked off at Kadri because he's got a history, he's got a reputation, the whole thing. And it's all just blowing up. Kind of a little bit like Ty Domi at the end of the game against the Rangers with Ryan Lindgren in Game 3, where he cross-checks him dirty, and Lindgren, we all know, is dealing with some sort of injury, and the last thing you want is have a guy get hurt late in the game and after the game is over. So what did the Blues do last night? It's all about getting Nazem Kadri, and all he does is score goals last night, and they go on to win 6-3. The point being is that the Rangers have been talking now the last 2 days about Ryan Reeves, and he's going to set the tone and all this other crap. You have to play with a controlled aggression, not stupid aggression. There was a point last night where two guys went after Kadri for St. Louis, and they both took penalties, and it was a 5-on-3. The Blues had all killed it off, and then right at the end of the 5-on-3, the Avs end up scoring a goal because players were out of position. And that's the kind of thing that you don't want to have happen to the Rangers tonight.
All right, Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network.